Today we'll discuss how to monitor Azure AVD and Azure log analytics. All these will verify. Say what is the purpose of Azure Monitor is to monitor Azure infrastructure like VMs, even for AVD we can use for databases. All that monitoring we can use by using the Azure Monitor. Okay, so it's a complete on-premises monitoring service. Just like in the Citrix, we have a Citrix Director. Okay, say Azure Monitor is the comprehensive monitoring service in order to collect all the data from on-premises. Also, we can use and from the Azure. Okay, we are going to use for mostly Azure AVD purpose. We are going to use Azure Monitor, but it's not only for Azure AVD. It can monitor for Azure VMs, databases. For all those also, we can use the Azure Monitor. And in the Azure Monitor, we have the metrics. Like maybe some of the metrics we have is disk IO related, CPU, memory. So those are called as like what is the numeric data we have. Okay, so all those are called as the metrics it's going to collect. Okay, so then what is the meaning of logs is like what are the diagnostics logs, all those also we can import. Okay, so then alerts, we can configure the alerts. If any of the condition of that alert met, we can send a notification kind of things, all those. And workbooks are nothing but dashboards based on the like a query based on the our own dynamically we can create our own dashboards also through workbooks. And the insights, like we have the pre-built templates kind of things, like we have those we can collect all the monitoring insights, and the deep application level we have application insights we have. Whereas pre-configured intelligent monitoring solutions have been there for the containers or applications, virtual machines, AVD. Okay, so they're providing dashboards, queries, alerts. All these have been provided by the insights. And at the application level, we have application insights also. Okay, so these all we have the dashboards, more visibility we are going to get, and AI base also we are going to perform like any anomalies are there. These all we can perform. Like if the users are complaining, AVD is slow or monitoring. Okay, so even at the application level also we can monitor. For that we are going to use application insights. Then at the VNet level, like we have the network watcher. At the VNet level, we have the network watcher. Like in order to monitor, diagnose, like at the VNet level, it's going to collect. Okay, so it is going to verify how the IPs are flowing or IP flow verify, and even we can use how the traffic is routing next hop by routing issues we can check, and energy flow logs also, like who is trying to access our subnets or IP addresses also we can have the flow logs. Okay, so that's we can use for the auditing purpose. We can use who trying to access our NSGs also. All these like traffic analysis we can do by network watcher also. Then here in the AVD, like we need to understand what is log analytics workspace. The log analytics workspace. In the log analytics workspace, like it's going to be a central container kind of thing. All logs and queries. All those details have been stored, and from the different sources, it is going to collect all the log data. And even in Azure AVD environment also, we need to configure our log analytics workspace to our hosted pools and session host. Okay, so then once we collect those data, we can use KQL. KQL stands for push to query language, which is used. Suppose if I go for Prometheus, Prometheus is also one monitoring solution. Prometheus have Prometheus query language. Now every monitoring solution having their own query language also, and we can run those queries. And even in the Azure also, you can run those KQL, and from that KQL we can create even our workbooks also, our dashboards also we can create. So hence some of the important KQLs we need to have an idea to run some specific troubleshooting steps. We need to use KQLs also. We need to run. Okay, so then here it's maybe like whatever the metrics we have, all these it's going to collect. Okay, so Azure Diagnostics, it can activity who perform, all those details also stored, custom logs, all these it is collecting. Okay, so there, like maybe Azure Monitor, basic monitoring, all those it is showing, and we have log analytics workspace. It provides all the logs about our users, subscription, administrative events, all those we are going to get it. Then, like in the monitoring, instead of only seeing those metrics, we should have at least some queries we need to run. Because even in the interview also they will ask, like have you run any KQL kind of queries for troubleshooting purpose. So what is the KQL is? It's a query language. Say in the Azure Monitor, we are running we are collecting some data by running those query language. By running those query language, we can retrieve like what are the inputs we want. We'll discuss some of the important KQL like queries also. So those queries itself we can tell these we are running every day in our job. Okay, so there in the monitoring logs or log collecting workspace or Cynthial application insights, workbooks and dashboard configuration for alerts also to set the conditions. For all these, we need to have the knowledge on KQL. So from this KQL, you can configure a workbook or dashboard, or you can set up a alert if that condition met. An alert can be configured. So these all we are going to specify. Normally we have the SQL, right? So now here we have some patterns we have. Now I want to I want to generate all the heartbeat records from the past 1 hour. Okay, so now here, like normally select the star from employee like this, we have the SQL, that is the SQL query language. But here this is, like for the Azure Monitor, we are going to use KQL. In the KQL, like here heartbeat and this pipe symbol where time is generated greater than ego 1H. Okay, so what this is generating? So what are the heartbeats have been generated in that mission? Okay, for the past 1 hour, it is going to be. Then here we have like a CPU and memory related. Say suppose here performance related. We are going to check that based on the processor time. So like this here for AVD also we have some important queries. Like using this query language, we are going to get the details. Okay, so average CPU on the computer like it is showing. So based on the processor time and average, like here this is normally in the SQL will aggregate the average salaries of the employees. Like this here like here for the CPU we are going to collect those aggregation kind of things, sorting. Okay, so all those we are going to perform by KQL. And from this, what we can do is we can configure a dashboard also. We can set up. We can set up the dashboard also. We can set up. Okay. So what is the advantage is dynamically we can check those metrics, all those information. Okay, and even it's very fastly retrieves the details. Okay, so it depends upon our requirements. We can filter the troubleshooting more deep. We can go by collecting different data we can collect, and from this we can visualize also. So these are the advantages we have with the QAQL. Definitely Azure admin wise for troubleshooting, monitoring. we need to have good knowledge at least how to use those KQL, and depends upon our requirements. We need to change the queries. Okay, so these Azure Monitor and KQL, log analytics, insights, all those are not only for AVD. Okay, so now, like from the AVD perspective, we'll discuss. From the AVD perspective, we'll discuss. So now here assume we have already a host pool is there, and the session host also we have. Then we need to monitor and we need to enable diagnostic settings on your host pool. Then in the Azure portal, like in the Azure Virtual Desktops host pools, we need to enable the diagnostic settings. We need to add the diagnostic settings. In the diagnostic settings, we need to collect what are the things we want to collect, like better to have all those for the production, audit logs, checkpoints, and error reports, host registration, connection. Okay, and to where we are sending that is to the log analytics workspace. We are going to set up. Okay, and even in the insights also, like we need to enable like insights also better to enable. Okay, so then once insights have been enabled, from the like we have one inbuilt AVD insights workbook also has been given instead of creating our own like a workbook, uh, like Azure has provided one insight workbooks also. This workbook also we can use, which will collect all the metrics and dashboards also will get. Okay, so these all we can use, and we can use even KQL also. And based on the KQL also, we can import that workbooks we can import. Okay, so now here we have important KQL queries. Okay, so this we need to remember some KQL because in the interview also they will ask, so what are the KQLs you have used in your job. Okay, so what this KQL is doing, so where connection status, whatever the connection status we have failed connection, okay, and depends upon the username and failure reason, we are going to collect. Okay, so this all the failed connections for the users, it is retrieving. So what is that query? WVD connections. Okay, so then in that WVD connections, we have the condition where condition state is equal to failed, and we are summarizing that like by the username and failure reason. Okay, so this query we should able to tell. Every day we are going to check this one, and we need to check how many logons we have and average CPU usage. Like this we have at least some KQLs we need to tell. Then based on these KQLs, we can configure the alerts also. Okay, so now here we are using the metric for the session host. If the CPU reaches 80% like this, we can configure email or we can integrate even with the logic app is a Azure feature itself. We can like programmatically we can manage, or we can integrate with the ITSM kind of tools also. So that's we can integrate with the action group. We need to send an email, all those. Okay, so these all like we need to have a knowledge on KQL. We require the knowledge from this KQL. We are going to monitor those inputs. So then we'll discuss some of the key metrics from the Azure AVD wise. This is also another very important thing. So people will ask us what are the key metrics you are going to collect. Okay, so now here we need to collect for the session host like CPU, memory, disk, IOPS related, all these also, and how many WD connections we have, and the connection failure status, all those, and the host status also, and what is the performance and heartbeat, audit logs, all these metrics we are going to collect. Okay, so now like here this we are collecting all the sessions, user sessions. Okay, so then that sessions which are 24-hour sessions, we have some queries. And failed connection also, like here, we need to identify users with failed AVD. Say every day, these metrics we should tell, and from the KQL we are going to verify these metrics we need to tell like that. What is the advantages? Like instead of collecting all the metrics, KQL itself very simple to run. KQL itself is very simple to run. We need to have the connections, all those. Then we need to run those KQL. We need to run. Okay, so these queries, at least 5 to 10 we need to remember. Okay, so then from the log analytics portal or where we have collected those, from that we need to run the these queries we need to run. Okay, then here we have one more important query. So these queries you can tell even in the interview also. Every day I'm collecting these. Every day I'm collecting these metrics using the KQL. And here we are collecting all the CPU usages, all these we are collecting from the AVD sessions. Then health status also we have one metric. Okay. Then user login, how many last 7 days it is collecting. Here we instead of hours, we use the 7 days. How to run these also we'll see. And in the log one workspace we can run these queries, and from that we can configure our own workbook also. So workbook is nothing but a dashboard kind of thing, and dynamically based on these queries we are generating our own like a dashboard, or maybe we can diagrammatically we can represent all these we can set up by using a workbook also. So in the monitor, once we run that query, we need to run that query and log analytics workspace. And from that KQL we are running, then we can generate that into visualizing that. So that query results we are getting, but I want to visualize them to the users like a user-friendly format. We are going to use the dashboards or workbooks, and we can generate that one that results into either maybe bar chart or pie chart, whatever we want. We're visualizing. So for this visualization, we are going to use the we are going to use the workbook. Okay, so when you run the query, we'll get the results. But in order to visualize them in a better way, to graphically kind of things and to visualize graphically, we are going to use the workbooks. Okay, so we are going to use the workbooks for this use case. So like this, different workbooks we can save. Okay, so then we need to save the workbook. Then we can configure an alert rule also. In the alert rule, if you configure the alerts, okay, so based on the condition, we are going to specify the alerts. And in the action group, we can send a notification also. So if that alert has been met, say maybe if the CPU has been 80% of that reaches, we can't run 24/7 that metric and query, we can't compare. By configuring an alert, automatically it would be dynamically checking that condition, and if that condition met, based on the action group, it is going to send the notification for us. So it is going to send the notification also, it is going to send. Okay, so that's we need to finalize that alert also. Then it's going to send an email for us. Okay, so now here mostly we are going to use workbooks. Nowadays, instead of Azure dashboards, we are going to configure the workbooks itself. It's visualize like based on our query dynamically, it's going to print all those, and the data sources may be log analytics, metrics, Azure resource graph, or APIs. Okay, so then more like query based also we can get those. Okay, it's dynamically. Then we need to use the Azure workbooks. How to configure is in the Azure Monitor workbooks. We need to add a query, and from that we can visualize that, like we can add the metrics, all this, then parameters, then we are going to save them. Okay, so then even we can configure the dashboards also. We can configure the dashboards also, we can configure. Okay, so then what are the important metrics we have? Already we discussed some of the metrics. So now at the session host level, CPU or available memory, disk IOPS, network input output, and the session count. Okay, so then at the session level, how many number of active sessions we have, disconnected sessions, and what is the session duration, like connection type, like maybe whether user connect from the client wise or web wise, like from the browser he connected, and any connection failures, latency. So these are the metrics we have. Then like here, host health and agent health also, like whether the agent is working or not, and like what is the like uh, protocol wise also, like we are going to get those like agent what is the session it is supporting, and it is up to date version is there or not. Okay, so these also we have one important metric is there on the agent side, like here that is the new version of ADX agent. SS6 is some agent newer version. We need to make sure whether we have like a faster and like a update is there or not. That is the agent version. Like to check that whether we have the updated version is there or not. But always maintain this like a up to date stack is recommended. That is side by side stack. Okay, side by side stack we need to maintain. Okay, then even a heartbeat also, like we need to send the heartbeat also whether that agent is available or not. So even we have some queries to check that heartbeat is coming or not in the last 24 hours, or like 7 days, like this also we can check that heartbeat also. Okay, then we have the diagnostics, any sign-in errors, gateway errors, connection site. So these are the different metrics. If the user is not able to log in, okay, these things we need to check any authentication issues or gateway related, or the like user while connection itself we are getting any gateway errors and connection state. Okay, so these also. Then user experience wise also, like we need to check that. So these metrics, like we should tell in the interview at least 5 to 10 metrics, these metrics we are running. And for those, like we can configure the alerts also. So here some of the example of the alerts is, if any of the failed connections are more than 5 failures in 5 minutes, or if any of the no heartbeat from the AVD agent for more than 10 minutes, for this we can tell, we have the alerts also we have configured. And what is the advantage of those alerts is 24/7 we can't run those queries and we can't monitor. It is going to send a notification for us. It is going to send a notification, and from that notification we are going to monitor those details also. From the notification we can send, or we can configure the workflow also. Now like in the like workbook also, like Azure itself has provided a inbuilt like workbook also they have given. Means for the AVD, we can use that inbuilt workbook itself instead of customizing. But if we have any specific requirements, we can create a custom workbook also. Now here we need to go to Azure Monitor, then workbooks. In the templates we have like a AVD Virtual Desktop Insights, and which subscription you want, resource group, host pool, all these if you specify, automatically like it will collect all the dashboard, or maybe it collects all the visualization also it shows. Okay, so what is this? This like workbook is this is the inbuilt workbook. Okay, mostly like Azure itself has provided the template, and all these is going to collect the metrics from this. But if you want any custom workbook, we need to create. We need to take the query language, and from that query language, we are going to collect that workbook also. Okay, so this workbook also mostly useful all the details. Okay, so then here what we can do is our own workbook also we can configure. Then here we need to enable diagnostic settings. Okay, and all the log collections, all those, and we'll send that to analytics workspace. Then we need to go to Azure Monitor workbooks. Okay, then we need to open that AVD Insight workbook. We need to choose. Then all the details we need to give, and once we send this, all that inbuilt itself, we have the KQL also. Then we can save and share that also. We can send, and we can configure the alerts also. Okay, so now this will send an alert if any of that 5 minutes has been exceeded for the connection state also. It's going to send in alerts. Okay, so like this here we can configure our own alerts also. We can configure. Okay, then log connection, subscription, all these details, AVD, enable the diagnostic settings, and logs which collects all these. Destination we are sending to log analytics workspace, and save the configuration. Okay, then to collect more uh, more information, we can install Azure monitoring agent also. We can install. Okay, in the extensions, we can configure the Azure Monitor agent also. So that will also collect more information. It can collect. Okay, so we'll come to Azure portal. This is our Azure portal. So we are going to Azure AVD. So we have Azure AVD. So now in the Azure AVD also, we have the monitoring. Then need to go to host pool. Need to go to host pool here. We have this is our host pool. Okay, so that's my cloud RG is so in this we need to go for monitoring. In that we need to go for the monitoring. So now here we can configure the insights, diagnostic settings, okay, so logs and workbooks. Okay, so then here we can set up that which of the diagnostic settings we need to enable. Okay, so we can have a log analytics workspace also we can create, and we can import all these to we can set up. Okay, so now here we can add the diagnostic settings also. So now here we are going to enable diagnostic settings. So in this diagnostic settings, we are adding, so which of those you want, all these so we are sending all these to log analytics workspace. So now here the one default workspace is getting created, or before itself we can create a log analytics workspace, and to that we are going to send all these details. Okay, so now here storage account also to the archive or event hub, but by default we are sending to log analytics workspace. We are going to send. Okay, the same thing for the session host, app groups, and workspace also we can set up. Then what we need to do is uh, we need to install that monitoring agent also in all the session host servers. In order to collect these, we required we need to have the that session host also it's need to collect. That means session host VMs also should have like a log analytics workspace. We need to get that. Then all these details once you enable, it is going to save these details into I'm giving the name and I'm going to save this. But even in the Azure, like on that VM also, we need to install one software that is monitoring agent need to be required. So we need to install monitoring agent on session host. This is collecting the metrics from host pools. But you want from the session host also you want to collect, then we need to like session host VM also we need to install that. On that session host VM, we need to go to like a log analytics workspace and we need to find our session host VMs and connect to them. Then once we save this one, so here we are saving this, then we'll go to AVD host pools and here in the insights also we are going to get, okay, so more metrics we are going to get. Okay, so now here we can link our log analytics workspace also, and from that it is going to collect most of the metrics also from the insights. It is going to collect. Okay, what are the so this is also spend some time. Like mostly we are going to get that insights also like for the connection reliability, connection settings. We have a lot of metrics also we have. Okay, so then like here we can use the query like we can run the queries also we can run. Okay, from those also we can uh, check those. Okay, say like for the metrics we can get our own metrics also we can use the KQL also we can run. Okay, say then here once we enable the diagnostic settings, we can open our log collection, log analytics workspace. Default one itself we have given log analytics workspace. So this is the default workspace we are getting for our subscription, but it need to retrieve all the because we don't have any data connections, all those. Okay, so then like here we have in this log collection logs. In the logs we can have the log query language also would be there. This is monitoring it is showing, but we can have the query editor. These all the inbuilt results it is coming. but we can run our own queries also. We can run. That is one. Yeah. So now here this we can run the any of that query also we can run. Okay. So here we'll collect some the KQL queries. Now this will show, but as of now we don't have any data where that time is there. Okay. So this is sample query we have, but for the time duration, because this is case sensitive.
Where operator failed to resolve a column of skill failed.
No, no, the table data may be not existing.
Okay.
That's not retrieved, not collected the data. Okay, so here we need to run these queries, but normally we have that query language is there. Here it is showing only the pre-built queries. It is showing. These all the previous queries it is showing, but these doesn't have any data. We'll try to get some connections, all those. So from this we are going to collect all the metrics also we are going to collect. Okay, all the metrics also we are going to uh, connect. Okay, so then like once we collect these metrics also, like here we'll go for the workspace. So here we'll create a workspace also. We'll create. So from that query, we'll get that. So here we'll go for insights. Here we have the insights. Then we need to select the workbooks. In the workbooks, here by default we are going to get that uh, this is the inbuilt which is the workspace which is cunning is that is inbuilt we are going to get that the workbooks. Okay, so here we have Azure AVD. This insight by default we are getting. Otherwise, browse across the galleries. Okay, so now in this like maybe we may have any of the uh, workbook also we have. That's we need to select. Okay, so then we need to use. Now, this workbook, what we can do is we can add from the query also. One is from the template already. The template what we have given is virtual desktop template they have given. From that we can create. Or this is the workbook. Like what we want to collect is our own like a query we can run. And from that query also, like once we got the results, that's we can visualize into. That's we can visualize that into like any of the pie chart, those also we can use. So now here I'll try to copy one query, and from that query whatever the result we have, okay, so that's we want to collect by one workbook we can run that. So this is one of the like query we are copying. Okay, so then once we say here from the samples also, but this query need to give me the result, and once we run this our workspace, we need to. This is the workspace we have. Okay, so once we collect that, once we done that query, all those. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to create like a your operator that data maybe not that data because we don't have the table. So this is the table. WD collection is the table. Then once you done that. Workbook. Like in that we need to specify the queries and alerts also. We don't have the data to try to take the sample one. Okay, so here this that metric it is we don't have, but here it is showing this in the form of like some metrics, all those where it is displaying. Okay, so then we can save that as the workbook. This workbook is from the query it is generated. Okay, we are saving that as the workbook like this. Here we can, if anyone want to visualize also from the Azure workbooks, we can get the details. Okay, so then important things if you configure as the workbooks from the query language, okay, that's by default we are going to get. And for the workbook also, like default also they have given, but it is showing previously we have the default workbook also. It is showing this is depreciated on our agent. We need to install the like up to date agent also. We need to install. Up-to-date agent has been depreciated. But what this workbook will do is inbuilt itself will get a lot of metrics we are going to get instead of running our own queries. By default, this workbook also will have a lot of inputs. We are going to get that. Okay, so this is the inbuilt like a AVD workbook like they have provided, and even we can use the dashboard also, but not that much dynamic dashboard. Workbooks are like more dynamic based on the queries, and if it is the results are changing also, it shows that previews for us. Okay, I'll collect like I'll create some user sections and connections. So with this, we'll try to run these queries and we'll configure the workbooks also. So I'll try to create some users and connections with this. Try to run these queries. So otherwise here you while creating this workbook, so here add a query. So use this samples as of now. Okay. So now here this sample like workbook, try to run this. The heartbeat is that we are going to run, and from this heartbeat, but it is not displaying any output for us. To choose our log. This is our but no results came. So we need to have the real data. So for that, on the session host, we'll configure Azure like agent monitoring agent. Then it will give all the metrics for us. So from this, we'll run the queries. Then we'll configure the workbooks. Okay. So try to collect some user connections. All those try to keep. So with this, we'll try to run these queries in the tomorrow session. Okay. For the troubleshooting, like this monitoring and this KQLs, workbooks, insights. So these are very important even for the troubleshooting wise also. Okay. So we'll try to run these metrics from that, with the real data we'll try to collect. From this, we'll try to visualize. Only for the sample metrics it is showing. But even here also it is not generating any because there is no data to collect that. No session hosts are there. That's the reason like it's not showing any results. Okay, so try to run with the different samples also. And with the default workspace we are running, this also doesn't have, because we don't have any data uh, uh, to get the results. If we have the data, it will may show the results for us. From this, we'll configure like alert rules, all those also for the workbooks we can configure. Okay, so that's we'll discuss in the tomorrow session.
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
sure, thanks.
Thank you.